Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be touring my muscle car garage in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's been about 5 months since I've done the last one of these, so I figured it was time for an update. We got about 5 new cars in here. A few of them are the same as the last time that I did a garage tour, but the garage has changed quite a bit, so let's hop inside and take a look at my cars. Alright boys, we're inside. Let's take a look at car number 1. So guys, starting off we have the Vapid Ellie. Now this thing came out like, I want to say like 4 years ago or something like that. And it's just, obviously it's a Mustang. It's based off of like a 60s one. I think I customized this car and I put it in here and I don't think I've ever driven it since. So honestly, this car is kind of on the chopping block. If I ever need to get some room in a garage, this thing is going to be one of the cars that's going to be going, unfortunately. Now with that being said, I do think it's a very good looking car. I like it a lot, but it does have engine resistance, and you guys, if you know me, you know I'm not a fan of that, so might just have to get rid of this thing. But obviously it's blue, it's got the white racing stripes. This car, I don't remember it having very much customization that you can do to it, so kind of unfortunate, but it's an okay car. Anyway, let's move right into the next one. Alright guys, next up we have the Dominator ASP. My pretty much daily driver in GTA. I drive this car a ton. And it came out with the Tuners DLC, obviously. It's an amazing car. It's the fastest muscle car in the game. It's one of the highest top speed cars in the game when it has low grip tires and when it's stanced. So it's a pretty good performing vehicle overall. I've got mine done in, I want to say, Cabernet Red. And obviously I got a lot of customization done to it as well. It's a good looking car. One of my favorites in Grand Theft Auto Online these days. Not much more to say. Let's move on to the next one. Sticking with our Dominator theme, this is the Dominator GTT from the Tuners DLC. It's a great car. It was the fastest muscle car in the game until the Dominator ASP came out, so it's still pretty good. It's like the second fastest muscle car in the game, so you know, it's a decent car. I've got mine done in dew yellow with a black stripe livery on it, obviously. It's got the blacked out wheels, it's got a little spoiler on the back. This thing actually handles really well, and it also sounds really good too. Overall, it's a really good car. I'd recommend picking this thing up if you don't have one, and if you're a huge fan of Mustangs, it's one you gotta own pretty much. Next up, we have the Willys Faction. I just customized this thing really recently actually, so if you want to go check that out, you can. It's a really, really cool car. It's based off of a Buick Monte Carlo, I want to say. I could be wrong. Please don't crucify me if I am, but I believe that's what it's based off of. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but it is a very, very cool looking car. It's kind of got like a weird like boxy design, but it's also very like sleek at the same time, which I really like. The exhaust sound it makes is pretty good. There's not a lot of customization you can do on the stock car. However, this thing does actually have a Benny's version, so I'm going to customize this thing and make it into a Benny's vehicle pretty soon, I think. And I'm interested to see what that entails and what you can do with that sort of stuff, so should be interesting. It does have the T-top on it, which is pretty cool. It's a cool car. I'd definitely recommend checking it out, at least if you're into older muscle cars. Let's move on to the next car. Alright guys, and next up we have the Shyster Deviant. I think this is done in my crew color. It's got a white stripe livery on it. Honestly, the Shyster Deviant, I'm not like the hugest fan of it, but I'm also not like a hater of it. I don't really know how to feel about this car. It's just weird, but it's cool at the same time. So not much to say about it really. It's an interesting looking car. That's pretty much it. I don't know. Not the greatest car ever performance wise, but it's, you know, it's all right. Anyway, that's it for the Shyster Deviant. Let's move on to the next car. Now the next car is the Bravado Gauntlet Classic, and I think this is the Bravado Gauntlet Classic Custom, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but I think it is the Custom. Obviously based off an old Dodge Challenger. It is a very, very good looking car. I love this thing. When Rockstar released this last summer with the Summer Special DLC, I was very, very happy to have it in the game. It's got an absolute ton of customization that you can do to it. Overall, it's a great car. I would highly recommend picking it up. This thing does like crazy wheelies. I mean, I know all the muscle cars do, but this thing in particular does do some pretty crazy wheelies, and it can be equipped with a wheelie bar on the back. So it's pretty quick off the line, I gotta say. It's a really good car. Highly, highly recommend picking this thing up. Let's move on to the next car though. And of course, up next we have the Dominator GTX. I have a beef with this car, and it's got engine resistance. That's part of the beef, but the other beef I have with it is that the wheels are so far inside of the fender lines, and it drives me absolutely nuts. I can't stand the fitment of this car. I love the look of it other than the fitment, but man, that fitment is terrible. It really sucks. It really makes me mad. It is a great car though. I would highly recommend picking this thing up. It's not going to win you any races, but it is very, very good looking. It's also not like the most expensive car. I think it's about 725 grand if I remember correctly. That's how much it costs. And for that price, you know, it's an okay car. It handles really, really nicely, but it is a bit slow because of the engine resistance. But it's a great looking car, that's for sure. Nobody can deny that. It's a good looking car. Let's move on to the next car. We're getting pretty close to being done here. And of course, the next car is the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire. I love this car. I'm so happy that Rockstar added the Hellfire into the game. I am praying that they make a Hellfire Charger or a Hellfire Buffalo, as it's known in game. I would love to see that, but this thing is just, oh man, it's awesome. It's such a cool car. It slides around like crazy, like it's almost impossible to actually control this thing, but it's so fast, makes a really good sound, looks like incredible. Like just look at that thing. It looks amazing. I'm so happy to have this in the game. I have no complaints about this car. It's so sick. With that being said, let's move right into the last car. Right behind me is the Vapid Imperator. Now, this thing is a really rare car. I actually just customized this thing recently as well if you want to go check it out. It's a very cool car. This car actually starts its life as an arena war vehicle that looks absolutely horrendous, but you can make it look really, really clean, as you can see, like I've done here. It's awesome, man. I would highly recommend picking this thing up, although the one kicker with this car is that it does cost like $2.3 million, which is an absolutely insane amount. It's not a great performance car. It's just like kind of good looking. I mean, it's not the best looking car. There's cars in this garage that look way better than this thing and are way cheaper, but it is a super, super rare car to see out on the streets and online. So if you want a rare muscle car, you can't go wrong with a Vapid Imperator. Not a lot of people know about this thing, I feel like, and it's pretty overlooked. It's a very cool car. I would definitely recommend picking this thing up if you have an absolute ton of money in Grand Theft Auto Online, and if you're like a muscle car, you know, enthusiast. So definitely a car to have. I think that's pretty much it for the garage tour today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite car is in my garage. If there's any that you want me to customize, also let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to get some suggestions for what to customize, because it helps me out, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.